Welcome back to the Digital Ledger channel, everybody. Please hit the like and subscribe. This is our new channel here. Standalone, pre-recorded videos, short, never live streams, never duplicate information, always fresh content. And we're going to get into this today. Today we're going to cover Bakkt announcing new insurance coverage claims more than 70 custody clients. So basically, I'm not going to make you read this whole thing. The truth is, it's very simple understand and read here. They have increased to provide more than 500 million worth of cover. And the reason they're doing that is because they're growing and they're getting bigger and bigger clients. Massive, massive signs, the kind of fundamentals, again, that I want to see as a reminder for people. Bakkt is owned by ICE, Intercontinental Exchange, which also is the parent company of the New York Stock Exchange. Things that make you go, Okay, and by the way, it was just recently noted in an article from the government stating that they are expecting the GDP, the gross domestic product, to drop potentially by 38%. Now, I don't know if that's the end of this quarter, they're going into the next quarter, what the projection timeline was, but I can tell you that is not good. Because when your GDP drops, you have less taxes, you have less income to businesses, and they can't hire, they can't expand. It is systemic. I think you get it. Okay, moving back to this, but shout out to Bakkt for the good news there. Let's move on, because what I would like to drill down on this today is simply this, is the article about Japanese ATMs will soon start offering Ripple. And I want to drill down on this article, and shout out to Michael Val 5 Links for posting this. And I know a few people have sent this to me, but I grabbed Michael's and went with it this morning. We have covered the fact that this is going to be available, but I want to get into this article and then go a couple places that I think will help solve some mysteries here, I believe. So, okay. The company is a partner and investor in Ripple. Obviously, Ripple executives recently issued a statement saying that they will initiate MoneyTap, Ripple's settlement solution, through ATM machines operated by central banks in Japan. Fantastic. This, they say, will give customers more opportunities to spend and utilize cryptocurrency no matter who they bank with. In addition, SBI Holdings says this will also reduce costs associated with running ATMs, the management team says. Currently, each bank has an ATM with its own bank app, but with a common web app, the same ATM may be used at its own jointly operated multi-bank ATM. MoneyTap was introduced during the latter half of 2019, both iOS and Android phones. The system allows users to scan QR codes with their phones so they can instantly receive and send funds to and from other parties utilizing MoneyTap technology. In addition, SBI had been utilizing Ripple's XRP currency for remittance payments since late 2019, while Signum, a digital asset bank, recently unveiled plans to add XRP support, thereby allowing its customers to own, trade, and sell the currency just like they would cash or any other asset. Matthias Imbach, co-founder of Signum, explained that he and his company were very intrigued by Ripple given its size and global scale. He explained the approximately 300 separate banks and financial enterprises utilize Ripple for one reason or another, and that the currency could potentially bring countries together under the name of a single digital asset. He commented, the company's XRP-based solutions address the pain points of a fast-growing $700 billion global remittance market. While all of this may sound fine and dandy, things haven't been going well for Ripple as of late. Recently, a second lawsuit was filed against the company for allegedly lying about the currency status as a non-security. Will we ever shake this notion? Oh, goodness. So then it talks about a few lawsuits in the mix. A plaintiff is a company, the plaintiff is a company that nobody has ever heard of, called Bitcoin Manipulation Abatement LLC. And the court documents, the company complains that Ripple is a security and they should have been advertised as one, and the money and the company has earned over the years should ultimately be returned to all the previous investors. In addition, Ripple is involved in a third lawsuit, this one filed against the executives against YouTube for potentially boosting presence of phony Ripple airdrops and giveaways. Brad Garlinghouse, the head honcho at Ripple, says that YouTube has done virtually nothing to prevent future airdrops from popping up on the video streaming site, and that the company has profited from these false giveaways. He further states that this has heavily damaged Ripple's reputation. And shout out to Ripple for wanting to put that matter to rest. Let's talk about the security, non-security issue, because I know we've been over this ad nauseum, okay? But what I would like to do is drill down on it just a bit, because it never hurts to go back and touch some of these things. So let's do that now. Okay, so one, and there was another lawsuit that they didn't mention, which is the one that we've all pretty much been watching, because I think the one that they mentioned may have even been dropped, because one has been kicked out, and I can't remember which one it was. But the one we're really watching is the one that's still in play out in California, and we're waiting for that. Now, we know that the plaintiff has changed its stance from suing them because they believe their security to now submitting the information to suggest that now they would like to sue Ripple whether they have been discovered to be or determined to be a security or not. So that sounds like even the plaintiff is losing faith in their own case. Let's continue here. Okay, this is an article from June 18th of 2018. Now, I want you to listen to this because it talks about the FinCEN decision when FinCEN actually fined Ripple in 2015 for not registering as a money service business. And they fined them quite heavily. So let's talk about this for a second, because this happened in 2015. This article is 2018. Let's just look at how long this has actually been at peace with the regulators within FinCEN. Okay, the U.S. SEC has decided Bitcoin and Ethereum will not be regulated as securities, but the debate continues to rage over Ripple, the third largest cryptocurrency by market capitalization. Some argue U.S. FinCEN has already set a precedent for Ripple's definition, which will mean the SEC must eventually follow suit. June has seen the U.S. securities of 18, remind you, that the Bitcoin and Ethereum had got the clearance that they are not securities and will not be regulated as such. Ripple's XRP classification, however, is still up for debate, or is it? Some believe a ruling by the U.S. Financial Crimes Enforcement Network in 2015 sets a definition for the native coin of Ripple Network, XRP, within the U.S. federal government that cannot be superseded by the SEC. As Twitter user Richard Holland, thank you for this, code Tsunami. Thank you so much for putting this out in 2018, because I believe this is accurate, and this is exactly why they've been able to operate without a touch from any regulatory body, even to this day. FinCEN had already signed an agreement with Ripple Incorporated, allowing them to continue their XRP sales. If XRP is an unlicensed security, then FinCEN now has to explain why they signed an agreement, allowing the sale of said unlicensed securities. Never going to happen. XRP isn't a security. I completely concur with this. Now, let's actually pull up the decision from FinCEN's site. Let's go here. FinCEN finds Ripple Labs Incorporated in first civil enforcement action against virtual currency exchanger. And this is from May 5th, 2015, when it actually happened. If you go through this, and you can see from this, I can already hear a lot of you going, God, I hope he doesn't read this. Yeah, I'm not going to. But what I can tell you is I will place this link underneath in the comment section so you all can take a look at it. It absolutely fines them and allows them to continue on with the sales, just as the article that I just read you. So this, to me, is where we get to a very, very real place where I say, okay, let's look at the cases that are currently happening, specifically the one that's happening out in California. And let's ask ourselves, what is a judge going to look to find precedent on where, or direction on where to go with the ruling? Well, I'm pretty sure that the judge is going to look to federal level regulatory bodies to see where they have come in a decision or an agreement with the actual company Ripple and the asset XRP. Interestingly enough, where they've come to is they fine them and told them they must register as a money service business. And since that day, they have. And there is not one transaction that they've done since that day that has not been KYC, AML, CFT, or travel rule compliant. With that in respect, you have to ask yourself, really, just like Richard Holland suggested in 2018, if in fact somebody were to declare XRP as security, what in the world is FinCEN going to say? Because they are literally the ones that have allowed Ripple to continue sales this entire time. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. I hope in some way that we're able to bring some clarity, or, even if it's not a final decision, but bring some clarity and confidence to understand exactly where we are with the asset and the regulators. I know that this is a conversation that has been beat to death at times, but with the recent article of the ATMs and Ripple being offered there, and them discussing the fact of the lawsuits that are still open, which makes it a legitimate conversation, I just wanted to revisit this material for any newbies or people who haven't had an opportunity to really take a look at where we've come from, where we've been, where we come from, and certainly where I believe we're going. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. If you like the content, please like and share, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.